He's got a twist coming in here and a flip. Now, like I said, I've only seen this done 4 times, and this is the 4th time ever. Now, watch the landing. This is so fantastic. He comes with a flip. It's a roll. Now, watch this young man. Up. Now, look, this is the part that uses his head. He gets back up on the track. He's happier than heck. And what does he do? He calls it off, and that's what it's supposed to be.
I don't think there's any question Jason McDaniel is more than recovered from his broken collarbone.
Fantastic.
Tremendous addition to the Nevada Hot Dice. Again, with the score, Nevada 13, the Florida Sundogs 12. We'll be back with the 3rd period right after this. Back in a close one as the Dice lead this one by 1 as we get ready to start the 3rd period. And Buddy Atkinson, let me ask you, who is going to have the tougher time? The Sundogs at the end of 1 and blowing this thing completely wide open. The Nevada Hot Dice come up and take the lead at the end of 2. Who's going to have a tough time getting back into their game here?
I'm going to tell you what I really think, and it's going to be a game here that goes back and forth continually. I don't think it's going to be one person just dominating. I think it's going to come back and forth, back and forth.
We'll talk about dominating. Mindy Smith certainly dominated Gina Lombardo with that big elbow. Mindy Smith now closing on the pack. Andrea Franklin back to block. Sent Smith high into the rail. Now Kathy Evangelo again is trying to prevent Mindy Smith from getting around. Franklin and Evangelo doing a good job. Shea Brown now splits the 2. Mindy Smith, very alert play. Saw Lombardo coming up, took her down. Shea Brown goes by 1. Mindy Smith goes by 1 rather. Shea Brown sends Franklin into the rail. Mindy Smith is able to get by 2 of the Florida Sundogs. The rest of the pack doing a good job. You see Denise Loden preventing her from getting any more points. But Mindy Smith and Shea Brown combined for 2 more points. And the Nevada Hot Dice suddenly lead this one by a score of 16-12. Now I understand Sean Corbett says she did get by. The 3rd Sundog credit Mindy Smith with 3 big points on that jam.
Well, Mindy Smith did exactly what Buddy Atkinson Jr. said. She drew first blood here in this battle. But both teams are well rested, are very healthy. And we saw in the 1st period, Ken, the women sent out a multitude of jammers on both teams. So we got a lot of big guns left in the arsenal for both teams in the 3rd period.
Kathy Evangelo out jamming along with Suzanne Chalene. And for the Nevada Hot Dice as they come around, this looks like it's Mandy Osborne, number 37. And she avoids the rail. Suzanne Chalene goes down, gets tied up in the rail, and now it's Kathy Evangelo closing on the pack. You see Denise Loden rotated back at the end of the pack to try and help her jammer, because Florida certainly needs the points. Shea Brown now goes back at Denise Loden with a reverse whip. Evangelo goes right underneath Shea Brown. Now she goes by Mindy Smith, setting her sights on McEwen and Katie Cooper. And not quite able to get by Vicki McEwen, but still a great jam as Andrea Franklin congratulates Kathy Evangelo, who puts 2 points up on the scoreboard for the Florida Sundogs.
And Denise Loden, fresh off that engagement acceptance to Sean Atkinson, gives the big whip to Kathy Evangelo. But, Ken, I got to wonder where the heck defense went today. I guess these Sundogs and these Hot Dice must have checked their blocker helmets at the door before the game, because they are putting a lot of points on the board by a lot of people.
Well, we talked about it early on. Both these teams like to rely on speed. You see Andrea Franklin go way out in front of the pack, gives a whip to Denise Loden. Shea Brown chasing her, but both these teams like to rely on their speed, and we are certainly seeing an offensive show by the Sundogs and the Hot Dice. Buddy Atkinson, Shea Brown has really stepped up her game as of late. There's a lot of similarities between Shea Brown's game and Denise Loden's game. How do you see the two?
I'll tell you what, there's similar backgrounds in their skating, too. Both started when they were very young. The difference is, with Shea Brown is a much taller girl, but the experience that Denise has is somebody to chase, and I think Shea is the person that's chasing it hard, and she's going to come around.
You see Denise Loden slowing down a little bit, hoping one of her teammates would begin to rotate back, give her some help at the back of the pack. And now she goes after and shoves down Katie Cooper from the front. I think the referees are calling it a downward shove. And exactly that, they are waving off all the points. Now you see Denise Loden finally realizing it, saying, what did I do? But WSL rules state you cannot use your arms in a downward fashion. You see it very clearly right there. Katie Cooper going down as a result of the illegal use of the hand. Referees smartly wave off all the points, and we are still 16-14. Nevada Hot Dice. Tough break for Denise Loden and the Sundogs. They had a great opportunity to more than tie this game up. You see Denise Loden now in the penalty box. A one-jam penalty for illegal use of the hands. Loden a little unhappy, but very alert call by the Florida Sundogs. Now the Nevada Hot Dice counter. It's Kim Hart, the leader of the showgirls, but she goes down from Lindsey Francis, and I think, Hawks, the first time we've seen Francis with a jammer helmet in this game.
Well, Lindsey Francis, like we talked about them having plenty of guns in their arsenal, is somebody who's got to be fresh and has got to be ready to score some points. But I got a question, Denise Loden. She may be a little bit distracted by the relationship with Sean Atkinson, Ken, because she really lost her concentration there, and that's why she's in the penalty box.
Bad sign for the Florida Sundogs. You saw a shot of Debbie Rice, their fastest skater, holding that wrist. Remember, she has got it broken in 3 places as down goes Lindsey Francis. We talk about Shea Brown stepping up her game, and boy, did she step it up right there, almost de-skating Lindsey Francis. Denise Loden out of the penalty box, taking exception to that solid block by Shea Brown, and now the two go at it again.
Well, when we talked about Shea Brown wanting to pattern herself after Denise Loden, Jr. said, well, she is trying to up close and personal. Maybe some of that experience she thinks might rub off, but Shea Brown, we talked about it. She's patterning herself after somebody, and she is not only patterning herself after Denise Loden, but she's taking some of that power and that pop right to Denise Loden.
There's no question this has gone from a speed and finesse game to a very physical game, and it's been led by Denise Loden and Shea Brown, and they go right out, each jamming and each the lead jammers now. Keep a close eye on these two, because you see Loden going low. She's aiming for Shea Brown and takes her right into the post. And we run out of time in the period, and these two are far from finished, and they go at it again.
Well, we talked about these two teams checking defense at the door. Well, Denise Loden and Shea Brown, they brought in all the heavy artillery going after each other. This feud continues. We'll be back after this.
It's the Nevada Hot Dice 16, the Florida Sundogs 14.
But don't forget the biggest point of the day, which may be the big one for Sean Atkinson.
There's no question about that. Buddy Atkinson, when we talk about the Florida Sundogs, we talk about the Denise Lodens, and we talk about the Debbie Rices, the Andrea Franklin. One skater who's very quietly a big part of their success is Kathy Evangelou. In fact, Kathy scored the last 2 points of the period to keep the Sundogs in. Take us through that play.
Yes, and this is so nicely done. This is a reverse spin whip. Here goes the reverse. Here's the spin. Now, watch what Kathy does so nicely. The squat goes in there. Oh, I love that setup. Now, the step down, and then she does quick little steps, quick little steps. She's up. She does a little bump, turns around, over left shoulder, sees another